Good afternoon. The last few days have just been an extraordinary time for our country and also a tragic one as well. We all know about what's been going on in Minnesota. We also know what's going on just around our nation, just with the horrific death of George Floyd. We've all been experiencing this hate, this hatred, this anger, these riots, these protests for the last few days, and you know what? This isn't going to go away anytime soon. The same thing happened back in St. Louis. And then we get on opposite sides. We get on Black Lives Matter, then we get on Blue Lives Matter, and all we are doing is creating hatred and division in between people, saying, "Well, this person did this or this person did that." I'm here for right now to call for forgiveness for both sides. What I mean by that is that has there been a history of racial discrimination in the police department in the United States? Yes. And I'd be ignoring history if that wasn't the case. Have there been police officers who have been killed by African Americans? Yes. A lot of people on both sides have paid the ultimate price for this. And you know what? I saw what happened with Mr. Floyd's death, and I'm not going to lie, what I saw with that police officer was horrific. Him kneeling on his neck and him begging, saying, "I can't breathe." There is no excuse for the way that police officer enacted as an officer. And yes, he should be held responsible in accordance to the full act of the law for that man's death. However, there's something I do want to address. Every time something like this happens, we get into our sides. There's riots, there's protests, people are hurt. And you know what? It has to stop. I'm a white man. Yes, I will never know what it's like to be an African American or a person, a different color, race, ethnicity. I do not know what that's like. However, one thing I do know is I have studied history a lot, and I'm a history buff. And one of the constant things I see where nations have been destroyed, where thousands of people have lost their lives, where families have turned against families, where friends have turned against friends, is this constant thing of unforgiveness. And what I mean by that is that if we continue down this, you know what? Back in Germany, the reason why Adolf Hitler, one of the reasons why, was because he brought that bitterness to the forefront. And he said, we should get revenge. A lot of wars are starting because people are saying we should get revenge. And thousands suffer the price, whether they lose someone, lose something. And you know what? These rioting and protests is not healing. And we need, as a nation, to forgive. Doesn't mean we forget, but you know what? That we start moving forward today. You know what? Maybe you've had someone who has been hurt, whether you're a police officer or someone with the Black Lives Matter movement. You know what? I'm going to tell you both, I'm sorry. But we cannot move forward as a nation until we all together choose to forgive, and that we start moving forward, and that we start saying to everybody, you know what? Black, white, police officer or not, we are all fellow human beings, and everyone's lives does matter. And that doesn't mean that, like this person's life is less. No, it's just beyond all reason. And that we should start enacting that in our own communities and as fellow people. And as fellow people, we need to enact now. And one of the things I'm going to challenge you with this week is if you're on the Black Lives Matter movement, I would encourage you, you know what? If you want to protest this and say, you know what, this isn't right, then do so peacefully. Do so peacefully in a way that's going to make your voice heard. When there's rioting, people are less likely going to listen to you. If you're a police officer right now, I encourage both sides, do one act of random kindness for each other. Yes, there has been hundreds of years of injustice done, but we can choose to continue to live in that past, or we can choose to move forward. So I'm begging you, please, please love one another, be neighbors. And yes, let's pray for George Floyd's family. And you know what? That from this, we can arise as better people and not take steps back. I just wanted to share that with you. That was just my heart. I'm George Floyd's family. I'm praying for y'all. I am so sorry for your loss. I hope that my prayers today is that we come forward with healing from this. So that was just my thought. So I just want to share that.